Well, they threatened, and as promised, the Writers Guild of America have started a strike here in Hollywood. That means that a lot of shows that you watch either won't be in production, or if they are in production, it's going to seem very, very different.
I mean, for starters, all the late night shows, they're doing reruns now. Yep. And there are a lot of shows, like you said, in production that are going to be on in the summer still, and those are getting sidelined. And the last strike lasted 100 days. Now, we just want to make sure that, just to allay your fears, nobody would write the stuff that comes out of our mouth. So we're fine. We have no writers.
We'll be here. We don't have writers. But you knew that, obviously. We clearly don't. But yes, this is a very big deal. And also, look, there are, 11,000 people who are now out of work. Yep. And as they try to figure out, and a lot of this has to do with compensation from streaming. This is a big deal.
It's changed the landscape. We're going to get into this.
Yes. So joining us right now is Jonathan Handel. He is an entertainment lawyer who actually has written a lot about the labor disputes here in Hollywood, including that last one that you referenced. So he's joining us now to help us figure out what's going to happen here. Jonathan, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, Harvey, Charles. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Look, I think for a lot of people, they're wondering, okay, the writers are in strike. Why is this important?
Well, it's important in several dimensions. First of all, production shuts down when you don't have writers on standby to do production rewrites. You know, this scene isn't working, these lines aren't working. Where's the writer? Oh, well, the writer's busy picketing in front of Disney. That's not a good look. So the production shuts down. You can't do it on that basis. And that has a ripple effect throughout the economy. Last strike that you mentioned 15 years ago had a $200 million hit per day to the local economy. That was a 100-day strike, $2.1 billion estimate on the impact. Adjust that for inflation, goose it a little for the fact that some production is in Atlanta these days. The local impact might be, whatever, $250 million a day. It's a lot of money, because when people are unemployed, and you're talking not just the writers, but the directors, the actors, the crew, the suppliers, the people who are furloughed at the suppliers, the prop houses and so forth. The first thing they do is file for unemployment, but the second thing they do is reduce their discretionary spending, and that has a further ripple effect. So the restaurant meals that aren't ordered, the clothing that's not bought, the whatever the discretionary spending is, the trips to wherever, the Uber rides, the limousine, it goes on and on. Right. And the economy is very interconnected.
So what is the outlook as far as this actually being worked out? They've been negotiating for, the last 6 weeks, hoping to get this worked out. They didn't, and so now we're here. Is there a chance that they can come back to the table and get this worked out? Because when do people, for our viewers, what they care about, quite honestly, is their favorite show going to be on this summer? Is it going to be on in the fall? What's sort of the deadline to work things out if they're going to keep on a schedule?
Well, the deadline is different for different types of programming. And as you pointed out, the late night shows are already dark because those are written on a day-by-day basis. The weekly topical shows like SNL and Bill Maher and so forth, those will probly be dark as well.
Bill Maher's going to be dark?
Yeah. Hard now.
Are you serious?
I mean, what did you think?
Yeah. Oh my God, no.
Harvey, you invited me to this party. All I can bring is the news.
Bill Maher's going to, are you serious?
Boy, Jonathan, you really just rocked his world. I mean, we weren't going to tell him, Jonathan. We're just going to let it happen on when he, Friday night.
I got to ask you a question, because this has been in my head. Look.
Yeah, go ahead.
Entertainment right now is on the ropes. I mean, there are a lot of studios laying off people. The reality is, I'm just kind of throwing it out, I'm not necessarily advocating it, but the reality is that these scripted shows with writers cost a lot more to produce than unscripted shows, reality shows and whatnot. So isn't this kind of a high wire act? Because studios are looking, saying they want even more money and we're in trouble, so maybe we'll just pivot, not do as many scripted shows, and we'll do more unscripted reality type shows. And doesn't that ultimately hurt everybody in this arena?
But this is the golden era of scripted shows.
Well, but they're expensive, and all these studios are looking at money.
Right, so more opportunity for TMZ and TMZ spinoffs, but
I wasn't thinking that.
You couldn't have possibly have been, Harvey. But it is difficult. I mean, the reality is that withholding your labor is the strongest tool that labor has. But unlike a hammer with a cushioned grip, this is more like holding a knife by the blade. It hurts them. It hurts me as much as it hurts you, in other words.
Right. Are you positive about Bill Maher?
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
I'm seriously upset about this.
Rocking to the core.
I'm actually seriously upset about it. What's your projection? How long is this going to be a long strike?
Yeah, I think it is. It's going to last at least 8 weeks because this is a little background. We have what are called overall deals with showrunners. These are deals between the companies and people who are supposed to generate ideas for shows. And there are provisions in these agreements that if an event of what's called force majeure, and Harvey knows what that means, occurs and lasts for more than 6 or 8 weeks, the viewers don't know, so I'll explain it. It is a catastrophic event that shuts down the industry. It could be a huge earthquake, could be a huge storm, could be civil unrest, but in this case, it is a strike. If that lasts for 6 to 8 weeks, the studio or streamer has the right to terminate the overall deal. And then the companies get to go to Wall Street and say, look how much money we've been saving. And look how much money, by the way, we saved in the current quarter by not producing anything, which of course is a little bit ironic. But, when production shuts down, you're not spending money on production.
People are more into scripted shows than they are reality shows. There are reality shows that are popular, but these scripted shows are what people are going to watch. So if you take that all away, that changes everything. So there's a lot on the line for everybody.
Yeah, we'll see scripted shows from overseas as well. I mean, that along with reality.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Huh. And sports could fill some of that void, right?
I can't
That's
watch
right.
Downton Abbey. I'm sorry.
Okay, really interesting. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Really
Take
appreciate
care.
it. I got to take a break. I am really upset. I can't believe.
How did you not know that Bill Maher was going to have to go dark?
I didn't even, because he's funny on his own. That's why. We're taking.
But you know what happens? At some point, those shows come back.
No, I get it. I get it.